YouTube, how we doing? PPS back. It's not past the prop. It's YouTube play of the daytime. We got two spots today on college basketball action today. So we are rolling on a 4-game win streak for college basketball. Obviously, much needed. We were on a little bit of a skid for college basketball for a while, but now early on in the conference seasons, I was backing numbers. Now it's starting to get to those numbers. Obviously, early on in those games, we're seeing a lot of unders, a lot of missed shots, a little bit tighter defense. Now we're starting to see us get into the full flow of college season into conference play, and we're obviously seeing scores go up, or at least on the teams that we're backing more often. So I am going to be in the MAC for both plays today. There's some decent games on. Obviously, we have some bigger games on ESPN, some Big Ten games that I like, but we've been having success in these lower conferences, and that's really where I bet most of my college basketball. Don't really bet too many of these bigger conference games here, but let's recap last show. We had Toledo team total. Obviously, they're the best team. I'm sure you're going to see them shortly here again. And also Eastern Michigan. What a finish for this game. That was crazy. I think they were at 61 with like 4 minutes left, and then floodgates opened, and both these defenses were absolutely horrendous. Both those teams will be talked about today as well. The only reason I'll bring that up is just because there were so many missed layups on the offensive side that it got super frustrating. I literally thought we were going to lose this bet, but there was so many missed shots in the paint, so many missed 3-footers. It's crazy. So obviously we'll be talking about the MAC today a little bit more. We are back to positive. I know I haven't been posting these as much, but I had to go through and do those this morning. I obviously have a third-party tracking service for my VIP plays. Obviously not for here, so I want to make sure I still get those out for you guys. But we're back into positive. Hopefully we can continue to keep moving this, moving the needle forward, and more green today. So first play we are going to roll with today, and that is going to be a team that we just saw on that last one. I'm going to Ohio. I'm going to Ohio team total. I'm really loving this spot just to fade Eastern Michigan again. Eastern Michigan is obviously one of the worst defensive teams in the country. And I kind of like what Ohio's doing here in terms of just how spread out they are scoring-wise, right? We have 4 double-figure scores. Dwight Wilson being a senior scoring 15.5 per game with almost averaging a double-double with 9.7 rebounds. But I really like the ability to score in and outside of the paint. I just really like what Ohio's been doing here. Especially with this game that's going to be super fast-paced, obviously, with Eastern Michigan on the other side. We've seen them face off against 2 of the faster-paced teams, right? We've seen them face Central Michigan and Western Michigan in their last 3 games. Akron is a little bit slower, at least for MAC standards. They are much slower in terms of pace. But in those 2 games against Central and Western, hit this number pretty easily, 88 and 98 points, respectively. Even put up 75 on Toledo, which is obviously pretty impressive as they are a much better team than Ohio is on the season. But I think we're going to continue to see this pace with MAC play, and especially with Eastern Michigan. They are, like I said, they're bottom 10, pretty much every defensive category. They're obviously terrible in the first half, still ranking the bottom 5 in first half points allowed. Just too many options here. Too many options for Ohio. And the ability to score inside and out here is really what I like. Obviously, Wilson doesn't shoot threes. He has a 0.0% three-point percentage. But you have Brown at 47%. We're seeing Hunter at 37%, 38%. And Eastern Michigan's obviously in the middle of the pack. They're sitting around 35.5% allowed as a team on the three-point shots. I just think that there's a lot better options here than even when they face off against Ohio, right? Speaking about Eastern Michigan just couldn't finish the buckets in the paint. Neither could Miami of Ohio. I think Ohio can finish the points in the paint. I think they have enough outside shooting. They obviously have a much better paint presence here in Wilson. Obviously, it's really the Imani Bates show, and hopefully you can keep it close just so Ohio can keep the pedal down. I would take first half team total if that comes up on your book. I haven't been able to find it on FanDuel and or DraftKings so far. I wouldn't mind that just because of how bad they are in the first half. I'll pull you up over on FanDuel here, and we're seeing it 81.5 at -115 on the FanDuel Sportsbook, just so you guys can see. Like I said, I'm going to try and do that every single time on here so you guys can see exactly where I'm at. And lastly, we will head to our last play here. And I'm going to be going right here. Toledo first half over 74.5, -120 on DK. If you go over to FanDuel, I believe it is 75.5. Want to make sure that you guys can see that we're on there. And Toledo's been a part of this 4-0 run as well. So I talk a lot about these guys. Obviously, talk a lot about their players, and you guys probably know all of them at this point if you follow the show. Maddox, Shoemate, just absolute snipers out there. But I really do like seeing. I really like seeing Milner take a step up. That was the guy I was thinking of. Milner, Moss, just so many options here. And obviously, I understand we're talking smack right here, right, on Ohio, in terms of them being able to finish. Toledo is just playing so fast as well. It's just this game should move pretty quickly. Obviously, a top 35 team in pace, but Toledo still after facing some of the bottom barrel offensive teams, ranks 305 in adjusted defense. They're an elite offense, really struggle defensively. I think Miami of Ohio has enough finishing ability to get this done. Hopefully it's just on easy fast break buckets on these long missed 3-point attempts that Toledo is going to shoot. And if we can even get 35, 32-ish out of them, I think we're going to crush this, because I think Toledo just absolutely runs through these guys. Toledo is averaging 33.1 points per game allowed in the first half. We go over to the Miami of Ohio. They rank 352 at 39 points per game allowed in the first half. And obviously Toledo ranks second behind only Cornell in terms of first half scoring. Just too many options. Too many options here. That I really don't know how Miami of Ohio is going to slow these guys down. I like that they are running good pace. Obviously, everything there is working. They're allowing 75 points per game. But we've seen them actually kind of play better defense in the second half. That Eastern Michigan game specifically, we saw that game fly over 78 points in the first half, and the game flew under by like 15 points. So really like the first half number. Probably not going to be betting too much of the full game. Toledo's just got too much firepower on offense, and Miami of Ohio should be able to at least put up enough of a fight early on, get us to 30. That's really all we need. I think Toledo easily gets the mid-40s here today, and absolutely crushes this spot. I think they're going to crush them today. 10-point spread at on the road. Don't really see that too often, but they're just on another planet in terms of offense. Like I said, a top 20 adjusted offensive team, and a team that just cannot guard in the first half. So Toledo first half over 74.5, -120 on DK. And we're going over to FanDuel for Ohio. Bobcats team total over 81.5 at -114. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let's get to 6-0. Let's get to 6-0 for our play of the days here for college on this run. Hopefully we can continue that today into some more action. So have a good one, guys. Best of luck on all your bets. And yeah, let's crush it tonight.